Steve Jobs taught us loads about leadership, but if you could only take one lesson from him, what would it be? In this video, I'm going to share my favourite Steve Jobs story and then give you a specific practical way to make a hack out of it so that you can get more done, which is what I'm all about here at Leadership Jetway, helping you give your leadership an upgrade. The hack I'm going to teach is included in my expert pack. It's free, there's a link in the description, go and grab it. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in the late 90s, the company was producing a wide variety of computers, add-ons, different versions of everything coming out of their ears. And one day, in a meeting about niggling issues from across the whole product range, Steve Jobs stood up and shouted, "Stop, this is crazy." He walked to the whiteboard in the room and drew a 2x2 grid, and he wrote consumer and pro above the columns and desktop and portable next to the rows. He pointed at the board and said, "This is all we need. We have to focus on 4 great products, one for each box. Everything else should be cancelled." The room was stunned into silence, but he was the boss. They did as he said, and the rest is history. By drilling down into a really tightly focused set of products, Apple was able to make them amazing and sell bajillions of them. Steve Jobs knew that unless you identify priorities and really focus on them, you're always going to be spreading your imagination and effort too thinly, and you're not really going to make an impact. Jim Collins says, if you have more than 3 priorities, you don't have any. And John Maxwell goes further. He says, leaders make every day a masterpiece. Determine and act on your priorities every day. How do you do that? Well, with this productivity hack, you simply ask yourself 2 questions at the end of every day. What's the most important thing I have to do tomorrow? And when will I do it? Now you might be thinking, why do it at the end of the day for tomorrow? Well, because for lots of people, the first couple of hours of the day is where you should be doing your most important thing, not planning it. And why just one most important thing? You've probably got loads happening and it's probably all important, right? But the 80-20 principle applies. 80% of your impact will come from just 20% of what you do. So you have to find that one thing that accounts for 20% of your work that has 80% of your impact. Because if you miss it, even though you'll do 80% of the work, you'll only have 20% of the impact you should. And why ask, when am I going to do it? Well, simple, because unless you actually schedule the time to do it, you're probably not going to get it done. If it's the most important thing, you should block out the time and then protect it, like Obi-Wan guarding Luke Skywalker. As I said at the beginning, this productivity hack is included in my Leadership Expert Pack. It's a part of my daily checklist, and there are actually 9 questions I think you should ask yourself every day, but these 2 are by far the most important. They're the 20% of the checklist that will have 80% of its impact. And look, that 80-20 rule, it's a complete must-have for all leaders. I talk about it in this video here, so you should probably go and watch that next.